Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. Today, I'm going to be covering the Tier 10 American Battleship, the Montana. Well, it's a tech tree ship. As you know, this ship has been in the game for quite a long time now. Before we talk about the ship and everything, this will be the ship build I will be running for this video. So feel free to pause the video just to take a look at the build to better understand what we're running. But I'll be covering the ship build and maybe why I picked certain ship build things at the end of the video. As normal, ship characteristics, I'll cover them at the end of the game as well in more detail, armor layout and everything. We'll probably talk about them in general during the match, but also if you want some greater detail, that will be pushed towards the end of the video. But for those of you guys who aren't subscribed to the channel, I would greatly appreciate a sub to the channel because it does help me out a lot. Thank you for all the support you guys have shown. But if you haven't subscribed, I would greatly appreciate it a lot. So, this is the Tier 10 battleship, the Montana, and as you can see, we have a pretty interesting camouflage on it. This is the camouflage that has just come out. It's from the Liberty Harbor event. I'm just gonna click C so I show it to you guys here. This is what it looks like. It reminds me a lot of the Tier 9, for example, Missouri and Iowa camouflages available already, I think. Well, I think Missouri one maybe. Even actually at Iowa and maybe Atlanta. They're all very similar. It also has a little number 67, which I believe would have been the real number for the USS Montana maybe, but I'm not really sure. But anyway, we got a shot out here on this Des Moines. By the way, this is a replay. That's why you saw me zoom in and out there, but this is a game I just played today. And look at the shot, by the way. Almost perfect. Unfortunately, I expected him to slow down a bit, funnily enough, and he just kept moving in a straight line, unfortunately, which means we didn't actually end up finishing me off. But we ended up doing 38,000 damage to him there in one salvo from quite long range. Okay, he's moving in a straight line, but again, I mean, I actually expected him to dodge there. Now, you're going to see this game here. I'm going to make a few mistakes, as I do in every game I play recently. There are going to be some mistakes, but overall, this game is actually awesome. It ends up being a pretty good game. Now, what is the Montana? We've got 12 406mm guns. Same caliber guns as those found on the USS Iowa, USS Missouri, at Tier 9 there, and also the same caliber as at least the Wisconsin at Tier 10 as well. This ship, though, has 12 guns. It doesn't really have anything special. This ship came out in a time where, well, ships weren't really they didn't have too many gimmicks. They were just kind of just ships, and Montana is one of those ships where it's kind of just a ship. But what does it have that's, I guess, overall better than maybe some others? I mean, okay, I'm just gonna talk about what it has, like, really good, right? So the armor layout is okay, actually. It has 32mm nose armor. It's got the 38mm deck and side armor, which is overall pretty good. It does have a citadel, which sits, I think, waterline or slightly above the water. I'm not really sure, but you can get citadel if you sit full broadside. As you'll see this game, physical examples of it. But you do get a 24,000 HP heal. Originally, it didn't get that bigger heal. It originally got a smaller heal, and I think it had a higher citadel. So they, I believe, lowered the citadel a bit and then gave it a bigger heal. Which is pretty nice for it. There you go. It gets this 24,000 HP heal, which isn't as big as a Conqueror heal. Look at this. I'm broadside, and I get citadel there by Bourgogne 380mm guns, because I am full broadside, unfortunately. But yes, you get a 24,000 HP heal, which is much appreciated. The rudder shift time is absolutely awful on the ship. The top speed is okay. But you do get these 12 406mm guns with pretty decent accuracy, I guess. You get to run the American Dispersion module in slot 6. That means you're not going to be able to take reload mod on the Montana, unfortunately, unless you wanna, but it's recommended to take the reload, the accuracy mod on the American battleships. And I personally take the range mod. Now, you have the option of taking reload mod. Sorry. You have the option of taking turret traverse mod instead of range mod. And you might ask, why would you take range mod? 27km range is excessive. And you might be right, realistically. But it does give you, I don't know, it's some dispersion formula type thing. It does give you slightly better dispersion by taking range mod, funnily enough, than not taking it. I don't know why, but feel free to explain in the comments. But it does, apparently. So I take the range mod just for that slightly small amount of dispersion buff at closer ranges. But of course, you can also take the turret traverse mod instead. The important thing is in slot 6, you are taking that accuracy mod, or else your guns aren't going to be as accurate. Reload-wise, it's okay. I mean, it's 30 seconds, so it's nothing too special. Really, the ship doesn't have many special things. It is a ship that came out a long time ago, where ships just didn't have those things. DCP, by the way, you saw me running DCP mod maybe in the ship build section at the start of the video. The reason for that is your DCP actually goes up to 30 seconds on the Montana, which is huge. Now, this is not something you have to do. This is just something I do. I kind of like having a 30-second DCP. It's kind of huge. So it kind of helps you out instead of getting relit on fire. You can kind of just, well, have a really long one. Especially when fighting Conkers, for example. If he lights you on fire and you DCP, in his second reload, he won't light you on fire again because your DCP lasts so long, right? For example. But anyway, so here you see the seal. You see me losing a lot of HP here. I'm honestly, I thought I'm gonna die. I thought the Christopher was around here and he's gonna torp me again. Luckily, he's not around, so I'm kind of chilling. In most situations, I wouldn't just go overly aggressive here, but I don't know. This was my first game of the day, and I was like, you know what? I want to play a bit more aggressive. I'm not sure if you guys actually got to watch the Massachusetts video a few days ago. A week ago, actually, now, unfortunately. I didn't post a lot last week, but around a week ago, I posted a Massachusetts video, and I almost do the same strat here, where I just push up very aggressive. But that one was in a tier 6 game. This one is a same tier game, I guess. Well, it is a tier 8 game as well, so we are still 2 tiers above. But we don't have those secondaries, those Massachusetts secondaries to help us out. We don't have improved secondary accuracy. We don't have the, I think, improved secondary DPM. We have none of that. So we kind of just get a battleship with guns here and decent armor. You know, this is my first tier 10, I believe. I think Montana was my first tier 10 ever. I got Montana a long time ago. Maybe 9 years ago. And back then, you know how long it took me to grind this thing? A long time. A very long time. But I actually enjoy playing it still to this day. So, even though maybe I wasn't as good at this game back then, I was actually really horrible, by the way, at the game when I started playing. So, just to let you know, I was really, really bad. And I don't mean it as a joke. I was extremely bad at the game. If you go check out my statistics, I mean, my statistics are pretty public overall. And I'm not shy of showing this. Like, okay, overall, they're really good now, I guess. Especially in a lot of the tier 10s. But if you look at the Montana line, at least the lower tiers, you can see how bad I was at the game. Extremely. Because those are just ships like, for example, Wyoming, New Mexico, New York. Those are ships I don't play again. So those are kind of like frozen statistics from 9 years ago when I was awful at the game. If you want some motivation, if you're maybe not that good at the game, and maybe you want to be like, oh, will I ever be good? Just, I mean, case in point, my statistics are, at least in the American Battleship line, you can kind of see the horrendous statistics. For fun, you can totally just take a look at my overall account statistics and you'll see. But again, Montana playstyle, nothing much to talk about. Just trying to survive, trying to get shots out on broadside targets, especially broadside targets. We lack that 30mm overmatch, so we're looking at broadside targets, trying to stay dark till we get a shot off. If you can't get shots off on broadsides and you can't set yourself up on broadsides, you can just kind of keep shooting. You can also switch to HE, something I don't do much this game, unfortunately. No, I say unfortunately because I wanted to showcase it a bit, but it just, there weren't a lot of opportunities to use the HE in this game. Here we got lit on fire, which is also really unfortunate. You see me turning around. The reason I'm turning around here is because I don't want to push into a Hipper Hindenburg. Funnily enough, I don't want to push into a Hipper Hindenburg Yorktown. I kind of just want to chill out, go into the spawn. This could be a bit of a mistake in terms of quick damage farming. But overall, I think it was a positive turn here that it ended up being good for us in the long term. Because, well, otherwise, I believe we would have just died to a Hindenburg farming us permanently. So I'm happy to just turn around and go away here. Now, you notice this thunderstorm thing. It does give us, unfortunately, I think 30% worse dispersion, which overall is pretty awful. We don't want 30% worse dispersion, guys. It does not help us out at all. I want the stock dispersion. I don't need the 30% dispersion nerf. But here we are. We have to live with the game's constraints. In this case, it's at 30% worse dispersion. We also have the benefit of going dark every 5 seconds, I think, so it's pretty good in that regard as well. I will be showcasing the camouflage for the Montana after the game's done, by the way. If you're wondering what camouflage this is and how to get it, I'll showcase how to get this camo and also what it actually looks like in the port after the game's done. You see me running Halsey here. Potentially we might get a Confederate. I'm not so sure. Well, I am sure if we're gonna get it or not. I'm just not gonna tell you. Boom! 23,000 damage there on the Bismarck over the rock. Huge salvo. That is with the 30% dispersion nerf, unfortunately. But we got a solid 5 pens, 1 overpen on him, which was really nice. Again, this ship, even though maybe it's not the best battleship or anything, this thing can be pretty fun. And I still have fun playing it to this day. I don't know how many Montana videos I've posted overall, but I think this might be one of my only commentary videos on it. And I am going to put it in tech trials, actually, because that's kind of the playlist recently. I've been putting these tier 10 ships I've been covering. Even though, you know, maybe back then we used to do a series called How I Play, or I think it was also called Thought Process, where I would go more into detail on how I play the ships. But again, I don't have as much time nowadays to... I mean, okay, I can, but it's just a bit hard. So I'd rather cover the ships like this and put them in a playlist. Okay, it's a different playlist, but I'm still kind of just talking about what we're doing. In this case, we're going towards the middle of the map. We're trying to open up some angles. Mostly, I'm just trying to get shots on target because the game's about to end. You see us on 700 points here. I'm just trying to push up aggressively just to get some shots. So, I really have not much to say, unfortunately. I'm really sorry. We got a shot out on this hipper. Hopefully, we'll get some damage. Probably most likely not. Let's see. Here we go. Good salvo overall, but it looks like it was aimed a bit low. Boom! 0 damage, unfortunately. We get 1 pen for 4.5k damage. Overall, not that good of a salvo. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the Montana. I think a lot of you do like the Montana. I would assume one of the older ships in the game, so a lot of you probably at least have it, or maybe you kind of know what it is in general. So let me know what you think of it, if you enjoy playing it or not. But I think most of you, I would expect that most of you, even though it's not one of those super gimmick ships, I think most of you should, or at least like playing it. You see this archer fish, by the way, we're gonna go for that super ASW gameplay on him potentially, and we're gonna maybe get some damage on it. Probably. Maybe. Potentially. Hopefully. I hope. Let's see. Boom. A direct hit there. Confederate. That's a huge Confederate buff for me. We got a reload buff. Let's see our reload now. Down to 21 seconds. We get the kill there on the hipper. I believe actually I got 2 direct hits on that submarine. No, 1 direct hit and 1 splash damage, unfortunately. But that's better than nothing. Ups our Balau against it, potentially. But you see this reload. Very fast. We got another ASW shot on him there, which is pretty nice. Unfortunately, the Hindenburg dodges the shot from me there. But we're up to a solid 178,000 damage. Now, I get a bit excited. I get a direct hit on that submarine. I get a bit excited here because the Vermont's coming out full broadside. So I'm like, oh, I gotta shoot my entire guns at him. A bit too high. But let's see if we get a good hit. Boom! A solid 35k salvo there. 10 pens, 2 overpens. We get our high caliber achievement. Up to 222,000 damage. Solid game overall already. Even before the shot, it was a decent game. But now it's a solid game over 200k. We love to see those. And we're gonna go try for this Hindenburg shot. Probably not gonna be a wonderful shot, but we'll try our best. Archerfish is out of my ASW range, unfortunately. So we're not going to be able to do much damage to him. Well, probably at all. But 872 points. The only thing I guess we can damage after the Hindenburg is the CV. But I think if we can try finish this Hindenburg off, he's going full broadside. Let's see. We get a shot off on him. Planes are coming in, but I mean, we're chilling. We look away from the shot, unfortunately, but we do get a Citadel there, and that, well, pushes us over 230,000 damage. We ended up doing 239,000 damage this game. For personal score, we ended up doing 239,050 damage, 101 shell hits there, 8 planes shot down, 4 incapacitations, 2 kills, 2 fires, 1 flooded ribbon, 3 citadels, 1 assisted in cap, 55 secondary hits, 1 spotted ribbon, and 3 submarine hits there, or anti-submarine hits. You're gonna have to believe me here, but guys, it was an E here. It doesn't show you when it's on replays, but it was an E. It was my first game of the day, and I got an E. I was pretty excited. We got Confederate, Confederate, Dreadnought, and High Caliber there for achievements. For team score, we ended up doing 2.5, almost 2.6k basic speed there. Overall, a pretty good game in the Montana. Detailed report, we got 17k on that Hindenburg, 14k on the Hipper, 44k on the Bourgogne, 43k on the Amagi, 38k on the Des Moines, 37k on the Vermont, and 23k on the Bismarck. I'm going to read them all for fun since I'm already here. 13k on the Archerfish, 4k on the Cleveland, 1k on the Christopher, and 7 planes shot down. I wonder if I have to read this stuff. I don't know if you guys are actually interested. I always read it every video, but I don't think any of you are interested in this section. I did 211k from AP there, 6k from HE, 12k from ASW, some from secondaries, I guess 4.5k, and then some from fires and floods. And 15k AA damage. 170,000 damage received there in the Montana. Credits and XP. This is the screen. For my commander build for the Montana, we've got preventative maintenance, gun feeder, grease the gears, brisk, adrenaline rush, emergency repair expert, concealment expert, and fire prevention expert. To be honest, you can remove preventative maintenance and probably just take emergency repair specialist. Or you could also remove preventative maintenance and brisk and potentially take basic, improved readiness, repair party readiness, just for the extra heal potential and maybe even the quicker heal cooldown, which could be pretty useful overall. For equipment, I've got artillery plotting room mod 2, concealment system mod 1, prop mod 1, artillery plotting room mod 1, damage control system mod 1, and damage control party mod 1. For armor layout for the USS Montana, we've got 32mm nose armor, 38 side and deck armor, and then 32 aft armor. And then we got this big plating, armor plating here with the 409. If we take a look at the actual citadel, it does sit outside here, but it's that bottom part, as you can see, 409 and then 259. It does sit, I think, at waterline or slightly above the water, I think. So even though it does sit waterline or slightly above the water, you can get citadeled, I wouldn't say quite easily, but quite easily if you're full broadside. So you do have to be pretty careful with the Montana in general, or else you're going to get citadeled. So do be careful. Try to angle your ship as best as possible, be that kited or bow in. Mostly kited most of the time. But yeah. For ship characteristics, we've got 101,150 HP with the HP flag. 37% torpedo protection damage reduction. For main guns, we got 12 406mm guns, 30-second reload here, 27.4 kilometer range with that range mod, and the accuracy maximum dispersion is 298 at that range. Turret traverse is 36 seconds. Maneuverability, we've got 31.5 knots, 980 meter turning circle radius with 22.2 second rudder shift time. Huge rudder shift time, unfortunately. Ohio, even though it is the same hull, gets a 4-second better rudder shift time, which actually helps it out quite a lot. But yeah, it gets 4-second worse rudder shift time, not sure why. But for concealment, you've got 14.0 kilometer detection, which pretty much is pretty standard for ships of that age, at least in the game, 10 years old. That's kind of what battleship concealment used to be back then. For the camouflage available for the USS Montana, we've actually got a few, so I hope you buckle up. Let's take a look. This is probably the most exciting part of the video for me. Probably not for you, but you know, I'm sure some of you are interested in the camouflages. So this is the normal permanent camouflage you have that you can buy for doubloons for the Montana. 200 doubloons. This is what it looks like. A bit rusted now. And this is the alternate, which also looks pretty decent. This kind of the camos I used to personally use is this one, actually. Then you got the Freedom Fighter. This is the Transformers camouflage for the Montana, which makes the bridge LEDs. It makes the lights does something. It also makes some character noises sometimes. I'm not sure when. It's a bit random. I think it's Optimus Prime, by the way. I never really watched Transformers. There he goes. Optimus Prime. There you go. The truck. And then you've got the, well, let's do the Crocosaur camo, which is the Halloween camo for the Montana. As you can see, it's a bit weird because it does open its mouth and close its mouth, and there's a little bug here on the deck. There you go, with a lifeboat on it, I think. That's what it looks like. A bit wild of a Halloween camo. Crocosaur, I believe it's called. Not really my favorite. But my new favorite is definitely the Battle Line of the Pacific camouflage. This camouflage is awesome. I think it's a very well done camouflage. I think it looks great. I'm really happy that it's not just the side armor, but it's also the deck armor has a camouflage. You can see that it is camouflage. So when you're playing the ship and you're just looking around, it also has that camouflage, which is really nice. Even the turrets also are camouflage, which is also really nice. And overall, just a wonderful camouflage with 67 written on the front. I'm gonna assume that is for the BB number 67, which is Montana. I would assume. I don't know what it was in real life, but there you go. That is it for the USS Montana, guys. Now, how do you get the USS Montana? First of all, you're gonna click Tech Tree here, and you're gonna go on USA. It's gonna be down here for the Montana line. It does end up leading to the USS Maine, but the tier 10 is the Montana. So you're gonna have to go up South Carolina, Wyoming, New York, New Mexico, Colorado, then North Carolina, Iowa, and the Montana. And if you want, you can keep going for the Maine, but this video was in regards to the Montana. And for the camouflage, how do you actually obtain it for free, by the way? You're going to go into the Navy 250 port specifically. You're going to click this table here, and you're going to have to do the missions. For example, if you do this one, they're going to be missions. And if you do this one, they're going to be actual just AFK ones, which is really easy to do overall. And this one is for co-op missions. So overall, pretty easy to do. It does take some time. I would like to personally unlock the Bridgeport at the end. So how do you do it is you're going to unlock these things. They're called memory notes, I believe. And if you get 12, you actually get the Bridgeport. If you get 6, which is 6 is overall pretty easy to do, you end up getting the Montana camouflage. And that's so far where I've reached. But I actually really want to get the Bridgeport. That's my goal. When I get the Bridgeport, guys, I will cover it in a video, hopefully. So leave a heads up for that one. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to cover it early, guys, because, well, I'm not a CC anymore. So I do have to grind out the things to actually showcase them for you guys. So just keep in mind that I will cover a Bridgeport video when I do unlock it. But how you're going to get the camouflage is you're going to click this. You're going to click upgrade. And basically, the first one, when you unlock it, you get a memory note. Here, you get a memory note. And here, you get a memory note. And it's the same for all of them. You have 4 times 3. That's 12. So if you do 6, you get the camo. If you do 12, you get the actual Bridgeport, which is what I'm trying to get. But that's pretty much it for the Montana video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the USS Montana. If you did, do please leave a like and a sub to the channel. And also, please recommend me a ship you want to see in the next video, because it helps me out to pick the next ship. But that's pretty much it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Big fan!